And quiet. Thank you. Right, I'm Sanford Chidge. This is the Chelsea Football Fancast. And we've been galloping along like a thoroughbred racehorse tonight, and I'm not even panting yet, so be warned. Now, this little bit of the show is something that we like to call You're on CFFC, which we have shamelessly plagiarised from some inferior little sports channel called Sky Sports, you'll be amazed to hear. And this is basically the bit where you can get involved with the show, and you can ask questions to us, and we will endeavour to avoid answering them to our best of our ability. And you do that by following us on Mixlr, that's mixlr.com/Chelsea-fancast. And then you ask questions very politely to Chadinoza, or also known as Chelsea Chadder, and he will fire them through to us. Alternatively, you can tweet us at Chelsea Fancast, or of course during the week if there's something that's really annoying you, gnawing at you, I don't know, something that you need a bit of psychotherapeutic help even, then email chelseafancast@gmail.com and Dr. Chidge will answer your troubles. There is another way to do it, and we're going to be hearing from somebody very soon on Skype. That's Chelsea.fancast. We're going to be hearing from Tony Glover, who is one of the men behind the fantastic Pudding Shed podcast. So there we go. Now, without further ado, I do believe he is he on the line? He is. Tony, my old China, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. We can see you as well. It's even better.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. I hope it's not scaring people too much.
No, mate. I mean, I've been scaring people for years doing this show, mate, so don't worry about that. Now, talking of shows, you see, because, I mean, I got to meet one of your other blokes on it, old Johnny, Kaiser Johnny, in a pub, and we had a lovely moment together, because I kind of sat down and I said, you know, I love listening to your show because it's absolutely nothing like mine, which is kind of my way of saying I thought it was much better, you know. I could never admit that on air, obviously, you know. But tell me about the Pudding Shed, Tony. How did it start?
Oh, it started. I think we've been going about 18 months now, but it started because we all write for ChelseaFCblog.com. And it's run by a guy called Nick, a mysterious guy called Nick. None of us have ever met him. He lives somewhere in the West Country and drinks lots of wine, and basically I think he lives in the bottom of his garden. And he runs the blog, and it was a collaborative blog, so he just invites articles in from people. We all just started writing match reviews and everything. And I met Johnny outside the White Horse in Parsons Green.
The old Sloney Pony.
Yes, indeed. That would have been a few years ago. That would have been about 2008, I think. Because the first time he met me, I had a mouthful of braces, orthodontic treatment. I was, you know, having a vanity moment as I hit the 40s, you know. And we just got together from there. And then through the writing and everything, we just decided it would be worth trying a podcast to see whether or not we had an audience. We apparently do. And I'd listened into the Chelsea Fancast a few times, but we felt we were a bit more...
intelligent. That's the word you're struggling for, Tony.
No, I couldn't say intelligent, but we were a bit grumpier, I think.
Ah, OK. So I actually said to a mate... Sorry, mate. We
felt that it would be ideal to have the idea of four rather grumpy, wizened old Chelsea fans sat in a shed, pouring bottles of real ale out, smoking Cuban cigars, and generally just having a moan and a gripe about life.
Or food, in fact. I listened to the last one on the way up to the game yesterday, and you were basically talking about food, and you were like the Egon Ronay of podcasts.
We do have a tendency to veer off subjects.
But I love that. I kind of
fantasy do come about, you know.
I kind of feel that, actually, because you know that it's always my actually declared mission to talk about football as little as I possibly can on this show. And I felt a lot of empathy with you boys when you were talking about comparing Chelsea... what was it you said about Chelsea? Chelsea would be like a proper old decent pub. Not quite with sawdust on the floor.
Yeah, that was Donald, Dr. Blue Bayou, who said that. I think I said I thought we were a bit more like Heston Blumenthal.
Yes, the Fat Duck. We are the Fat Duck of football. I like that. I remember that. That was genius. I love that a lot. I've always thought that the Pudding Shed, you know, if Tim Rolls was a podcast, he would be the Pudding Shed.
I think so, yes. Yeah, I think we are looking to try and get some guests on there from time to time, just to break it up and give us a different flavour of opinion, because it is about opinion, and we don't. I think what I love about it, I think, is we don't all agree.
Yeah.
In fact, we often disagree. I think I'm the only one who tends to lose his rag and throw his toys out the pram when someone,
Yeah, you're my favourite, Tony.
Well, you would say that, and we're going to meet up for a beer because I know you're not far from my stomping ground.
I am.
Yeah. So but we do try and do something a bit alternative. I think I can't remember now. We get 5,000 or 6,000 iTunes downloads with every episode, but we get a lot of American and foreign fans, I think, who kind of appreciate the fact that there's a.
Oh no! He's back. Oh, you got a bit Norman Collier, mate. You still there?
It's Virgin Broadband, allegedly.
It's really funny, Tony, because you were kind of breaking up there. You said Virgin and Broadband, and there was a big gap, and I saw you mouthing something.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Just in case Richard Branson decides to throw some rubbish my way.
He's not a Chelsea fan, don't worry, he won't be watching.
Couldn't care less, yeah.
Excellent stuff, mate. I mean, I've been talking to you and Johnny for a while. I would love to get one or two or even both of you on this show one week if we can arrange that. It'd be great. You know what they used to call that? Well, because I know you're about the same age as me. They used to call it simulcast back in the day, didn't they? They
did, yes. And both me and Johnny, I think, would be well up for that.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on the show, mate.
Yeah. Okay, mate.
We're gonna leave you because we're gonna get a few questions from the punters. Unless any of the boys on the table, would you like to ask Tony a question? Because I've been hogging it because I'm a big fan of his.
I do want to say thank you specifically to Dan because he made a pretty generous contribution to my big bike ride that I did, the 300 miler back in October.
Cheers, Tony. Are you still using the udder cream?
No. I've been resting those particular. Sensitive parts, should we say?
Yeah, mate, we should all say that, actually. I know we plugged it on the show, but well done for that bike ride. That was monster. I think round of applause for Tony generally, actually. And finally, what I would like to say, thanks for coming online. We'll get you on the show, Tony, and keep up the good work on the Podding Shed. I, for one, love it, and I commend it to anybody who listens to this show. If you want to hear grumpier people than me and more intelligent people than me, then listen to those guys every week.
Well done. Thanks so very much, lads.
Pleasure, mate. You take care. See you soon.
Cheers, Tony.
There you go. And I mean, it really is. If you haven't heard the Podding Shed, it's very different to this show, which is definitely a good thing. And they are great. Now, I think we should have a couple of questions. I think we've got Davy from Brazil warmed up. Is he warm? He's warming up. He's having a bit of a caipirinha. He's having a rub down on the caipirinha. Yeah, all right. We'll have a few questions from you first, though, Chadanoza. What have we got from the punters this week, my friend?
OK, I've got from Ollie Glanville here.
Not the Ollie Glanville?
Yeah.
Andy Jacobs' best mate on Talk Sport. I'm honoured. Go ahead.
He wants to know, do we think is Matic a first-choice starter for our midfield?
Very good. What do you reckon, Pablo?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I'm amazed you don't know that.
I don't really know enough about his game. I mean, I don't follow the Portuguese.
Should we ask somebody with intelligence like Dan to answer that?
Yeah, why not?
I asked you first because I view you as an intelligent.
I don't have an answer for everything, though.
Well, I thought you did, so there we go. Dan?
I think he's a different sort of a player. He's a player we haven't got at the moment. He's a box-to-box midfielder. It requires a little change in the shape of what we got. But as I said before, he's a Mourinho player, and you don't spend £21 million on a guy you don't fancy playing.
In terms of who we've got at the moment, who is he most likely to replace?
Well, I don't think you can say that. I think he's...
I just did.
I was talking to a mate yesterday, and I think the best way to describe him is he is what we wanted Josh McEachran to be.
Ah, right, OK. Yeah, it's a shame that Josh, because I
he's got the physical presence that Josh never quite got.
Maybe that's it. That's interesting. Yeah, OK, that's good. I hope that answers Ollie's question. What do you reckon? Do you think that answers Ollie's question? Have you got anything to say on that?
Yeah, I don't know how I'd say he's like either, but Mourinho obviously knows the Portuguese game. I'm sure he's got a lot of contacts over there, and I think it's really quite a well-informed buy.
I'm going to say something that is going to sound really awful now, but then it is me, so I'm kind of allowed. My first thought when we went back in for Matic was, well, we beat Benfica in the Europa Cup final last year, so we can't be that good. That was my first thought. Am I bad?
Bad man.
Yeah, I'm a bad man.
We beat Liverpool a few weeks ago, and Suarez isn't bad.
Well, yeah. How many goals has Suarez scored against decent teams this season?
A few, maybe.
Has he scored against Arsenal? Has he scored against City? You know? No. OK, we'll move on for another question, I think, Cheddar.
I got one here from Jacques JCFC who says, how many goals do you think Hazard will get this season?
OK, we'll make this a quickie. You want to go first? How many? He's got about 10, 11 now,
12,
hasn't
12 in the Premier League, is it?
Less than
12,
yeah, 9.
together, isn't it? Around about 20, maybe 25 at a push.
I think he's going to hit 20 definitely this season. I'm confident of that.
Yeah, 20.
20? Yeah, sure. 20, 25? 20?
Well, I'm just thinking...
Higher, lower?
Well, we should be Stoke, we should get further, we should be Galatasaray, so he's got room to, I'd say 20.
Yeah, 20.
20.
20. We all think he's going to get at least 20 this year. JCFC, was that, Cheddar?
Jacques JCFC,
Jacques,
yeah.
Or Jacques.
Jacques
JCFC. It's not Jacques Cousteau, is it? JCFC? No. Maybe not. Anyway, right, we've got a brilliant call coming up in a minute. And first of all, I'm going to read a little bit. Basically, Davi, you know our mate from Brazil, from Chelsea News Brazil. Yes, thank you, Greg, has reminded me, our official Chelsea Brazil correspondent. Am I bad? Anyway, Davi sent this brilliant stat in, which I've headlined. They just like watching in Brazil. See what I've done there? But apparently there was some research done in July 2010 where it was revealed that Chelsea were the 6th best supported European team in Brazil, second only to Man United. And in 2013, it's now been revealed that Chelsea are the 4th best supported European team in Brazil. And it's the first time that Chelsea is the best supported English team in Brazil. So not only did we beat Man United 3-1 yesterday, we beat them in Brazil too, which I love. So that means that only Barcelona, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid and Milan are above us in terms of European teams, in terms of who supports them in Brazil, which I think is brilliant. And apparently Sao Paulo, who is Davi's team in Brazil, and Vasco da Gama and Santos are the teams that have the most people who support Chelsea as well, if you see what I mean, something like that. Anyway, I thought, wouldn't it be fun to actually get Davi on the old dog and bone to tell us all about that? Davi, are you here, my friend?
Hello, Chid. Hello, Pablo. Dan.
Hello.
Dan.
Hello, mate.
You know you should say Jeffrino, Chijondo, Mantelson and Levenauro. What's the matter with that? We thought that was good. What's wrong with it, Davi?
It's bad. That name is really ridiculous.
It's not really Brazilian, right?
No. That name is...
Yeah, it's all right. Control yourself. I know it's funny, but you know. Anyway, mate, what we want to talk to you about. This is a brilliant stat that you came up with this week. Tell us about this stat and the fact that Chelsea are now the best English supported team in Brazil. That's brilliant.
Chelsea lately have a growth of Chelsea supporters here. That's because the TV lately in 80s, as I sent to the research in 80s, we just watched on free TV the Italian league. Then you have a big support to Milan and Internazionale last 3 years ago. Now we don't have international games on free TV, only cable TV. And the best league for us is Spanish and English league. Then we have Barcelona first, Real Madrid third, and Milan being fourth. Third, Real Madrid second, and Chelsea coming fourth. And I can explain it because the Champions League title, when Chelsea went to Japan to face Corinthians on Club World Cup, and then Brazilians supported Chelsea. Many of them stay supporting Chelsea until now, and we will support Chelsea. I think in the last 2-3 years it has become the top three, struggle with Barcelona and Real Madrid to be the top team with supporting in Brazil.
Brilliant, Davi. That's really interesting, and I get that totally, because I remember when I spoke to you and Felipe when Chelsea played Corinthians, and they were telling me about Corinthians, and they are very much like the Man United of Brazilian football. So basically hated by every Brazilian football supporter who doesn't support Corinthians. So I can understand why so many Brazilians ended up supporting Chelsea because of that, which is fantastic, isn't it?
Yes, and also it happens when Liverpool faced São Paulo on Club World Cup in 2005. Here we who supported São Paulo was just São Paulo supporters, and the other fans supported Liverpool. Not me. I supported nobody. For me, a draw would be great.
That's really interesting. And the other interesting thing about that survey that they've done, Davy, is that Man United and Chelsea are the only two English clubs that are anywhere near getting any support in Brazil. Are there any other English clubs that are supported quite well in Brazil?
We have lots of Liverpool supporters. Arsenal, because in his age, we have very little. Some in Nordics we have Tottenham supporter, I don't know why, and this is the team: Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, and Manchester City are the teams, British teams with more supporters here.
It's going to be very interesting, isn't it, this year then with the World Cup? I mean, let me ask you a bit of a left field question here. You know, when England were the world champions, I know it's a long time ago, but they defended it in Mexico in 1970, and they were basically universally hated by the Mexicans and all the other foreigners. Nobody liked the English team. They didn't want them to win or anything like that. Do you think when England go to the World Cup this year, they're going to have quite a lot of support in Brazil? I mean, obviously all the Brazilians are going to be wanting Brazil to win, but do you think there'll be quite a lot of love for the England team?
Unless Manaus, I think São Paulo and Belo Horizonte, your England team will have a massive support. And, big fans on the hotel and on training ground, and you'll be very welcome here.
Okay, well, we're all staying at your house. You know that, don't you? He's gone. Yeah. No, I'm joking. We're gonna. I tell you what, Davy, I would love it if we could make it over there. I mean, I suspect we probably won't be able to, but I would love it because it would be great to go and support England out there, but actually also be kind of... We'll all have Brazil shirts, Davy. We'll turn up with Brazil shirts with our Brazilian names, with Chijundo and Jeffrinho and Mantelson on the back. Would that be good?
Okay, and Chad becoming a woman, right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot, because did you know this, Chad?
No,
Chedanoza apparently is, as Davy said, I think it's the grammatical thing, but basically that means that you're a girl.
Okay.
Apparently, Davy, he's happy with that. He'll go down well in Rio de Janeiro, won't he? He's a man who likes to be a girl. Yeah, I think I can get away with that. Davy, it's brilliant.